The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallway trying to go 3 wide. No one will let them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win. Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV here tonight with the Hardline Racing League Fast Track Sims Cup Series. As always, I'm Brandon Krutz. Joining me in the booth is Corey Silva and Evan Black. Corey Silva doubling as our tech producer. So, 150 laps around Kansas Speedway tonight, and these guys look to be ready to go here. 15 cars ready to take to the track for qualifying right now.
Another race at the Kansas Speedway. We brought you the Contender Series on Wednesday night. We saw a pretty good finish there. We saw a lot of slipping and sliding with slippery track conditions, so we'll see what these drivers have to experience tonight in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup vehicles.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit in practice and qualifying right now, and it looks to be kind of the same conditions. Really slick out there.
Yeah, a lot of guys slipping, sliding around here, especially one of the trouble areas I'm noticing is right out of turn 2, especially, so something to keep an eye out there.
The first minute of qualifying has already completed, so we will start seeing times run across the board right now. Cole Bagunia first to take a lap and put it on the board. He'll be on the provisional pole. Hensley a little bit behind him, pretty close in that first battle.
Really close time, or really good times for those top 2. That's quicker than anything we saw in practice.
Looks like it'll be a one and done for Hensley. Let's see, watch Shane Taryn as he comes through turns 1 and 2. Obviously, Kansas Speedway, you'll see the majority of the drivers running up right up by the fence, running the Kyle Larson line, as we like to call it. Taryn hard into the wall off too. That lap will be no good. Justin Munsell down the back straightaway here. Remember, Justin Munsell on Wednesday night had a good qualifying run, but was in the wall for, I mean, he just hit the wall a ton, and that really hurt his run. Might have got the wall there off of 4. That might negate this lap.
Yeah, it looks like it did negate it.
Thomas Bresci.
So he will not get a lap in.
Thomas Bresci on track now. Remember, he did win Wednesday night. Ended up having a kind of a long run car there. Oh, he's in the wall there, so that'll cancel out that lap. Ryan Hartz moves to the P1 spot. Weather conditions tonight for these drivers at the Kansas Speedway. It is 78 degrees in the air, 104 on the track, 2-mile-an-hour wind, standard iRacing conditions as we like to call it. So the weather is nothing that is really out of the ordinary, but the problem these drivers are having is what appears to be quite the loose setup.
This track is really, really slick in the day.
New paint scheme for Joshua Adams in the 88, but only musters a 5th place position, about a, well, actually, for that matter, only about a half-tenth off the pace, but times up front very tight, as we mentioned. Joel Holloway into the wall at turn 3 on his lap, so looks like almost every person that we've tried following has managed to find the wall here already in qualifying.
I think just about everyone's going to manage to find the wall, seems like.
And just as a quick snapshot of the point standings, I don't have a graphic unfortunately, but I can let you know that right now Cole Bagunia, I do believe, is yes, he is the points leader. He does have a 6-point lead over Shane Taryn, and then Thomas Bresci is about, I believe, 26 points behind that. So the battle for the lead between Bagunia and Taryn, very close. That'll be worth following as this race goes on.
Yeah, and right now they're going to be starting side by side. Unless someone else gets in there.
Michael Fenlison, about a half-tenth faster than Ryan Hartz there, by far the fastest lap we've seen thus far. Qualifying soon wrapping up. Don't see anybody else on the track, so I believe this will be the order that we will have. Let's just wait for it to be official.
Qualifying wrapping up now, just a couple of moments here.
And that will do it. So let's bring up the PTR TV starting lineup here from the Kansas Speedway. On the pole tonight with a lap time of 30.685 seconds is Michael Fenlison. We offer him our congratulations for that lap. Ryan Hartz to the outside. In row 2, we have Shane Taryn and Cole Bagunia, number 1 and 2 in points. Will battle up from row number 2. Tyler Hensley and Joshua Adams in the 3rd row. Then we have Kyle Zimmer, Cody Tabor, and then Chuck Sweeting and Justin Munsell, the top 10.
And Rusty Capel starting in 11th, Thomas Bresci in 12th, Casey Shue in 13th, Christopher Matthews in 14th, and then Joe Holloway in 15th round at the field.
So that'll round down to your field here. 15 cars on the grid here tonight for the Hardline Racing League Fast Track Sims Cup Series. Ready to go 150 laps around the Kansas Speedway here tonight. It should be a good show as these guys always bring here nice, tight, close racing. And these guys ready to rumble.
Still waiting for the pole sitter to take the grid right now. I'm sure he will, but a little bit delayed in the process. So once he does, I'm sure the pace car will... Yep, there he goes. Fenlison on the track right now. Pace car should get us going. It'll be one pace lap around the Kansas Speedway, and then we will get this race underway. Just some track facts in case you don't know. 1.5 mile tri-oval shaped cookie cutter track, as we call it. Variable banking, so the drivers will be finding the banking up against the wall, but with the running of the groove and the wearing of the tires, the middle may come in as the race goes on. We will have to see.
Yeah, we really didn't see that in the race on Wednesday night, but with these cars having a little bit more power and a few more laps here, they might be able to do it.
We saw a lot of almost dirt track style passes going on. We saw drivers really driving it to the bottom, trying to clear in the center, do the slide job, and then try to hold off the crossover on corner exit, something you'd see at almost an Eldora. But it is a passing technique at Kansas. We'll see if the drivers try it in the cut machines tonight.
Pace car rolls off pit road. These guys will get stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go green flag racing here tonight.
Leader does have lane choice, I do believe, and it looks like he might be taking the outside. And now Ryan Hartz is just dropping back.
Yeah, the 3 machine kind of relinquishing his position on the start. It does appear right now. Not sure what that's about. See if we can get clarification on that. But we are in turn number 3 and 4. The number 13 of Fenlison will start the race. Oh, he chooses the outside lane last second.
I believe, was Ryan Hartz the winner last week?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
That would be why. The winner gets from last week gets EOL penalty, but nevertheless, pace car pulls off into pit road. 15 cars ready to take the green flag here tonight. They get into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. They're underway at Kansas.
And we're already seeing wheel spin there from the number 7 of Begunia there. That cost him a little bit of time, but he did manage to hold off for the second position. Here comes Shane Tarrant with a dive to the inside.
The 38 down low below the 7 machine, now off of turn number 2. They're going to be side by side, 2 by 2.
7 Begunia got the run from the outside lane and will clear Taryn. It's now the 88 of Adams is looking to the outside of Taryn. It looks like he will clear.
Ohio.
The 88 machine coming up through the fields now. The 38's trying to gain back, but a lot of guys loosey-goosey going on a little bit out of turn number 4. A lot of wiggling going on there.
Up front.
Yeah, 7 Nicole Begunia looking to the inside of Finlayson, not quite doing anything quite yet.
Fenlison in the 13 try to hold off the 7 of Begunia. Begunia got a really good initial start and is still holding pace with that run right behind him. Was he going to make a dive to the inside or just kind of hold his pace in line? Looks like he'll hold himself in line in 3 and 4, but Josh Adams not done. He wants to get another look for that second position.
Adams kind of looking to the outside just a little bit. Did not get good enough to run out of turn number 4 to get there, but he's going to drop back just a little bit.
A little bit further in the pack right now, we have Rusty Capel and Joel Holloway going side by side. That's a battle for the 13th position. Give it to Holloway on the outside. Looks like everybody has kind of found their groove, running single file at the moment. Here comes Ryan Hartz trying to gain some spots, diving under Chuck Sweeting in the 26, but the 26 will use the banking up top to keep the momentum up and hold the position.
Hartz trying to make his way back up through the field. Remember, he had that EOL penalty, the out-of-line penalty there. He won the race last week. That is a rule in this league. Winner from last week goes to the back because he was the fastest car in the last race. So one thing unique about this league for sure.
Well, watch out, Brian. Sorry. Off turn 2, Munsell and the 20 machine of Zimmer. Almost some contact there. Give Munsell the position, but it was a very tight situation there. And then Thomas Bressi right behind that, Wednesday night's winner.
And back up front, the 38 of Shane Tarrant was able to get around Adams for 3rd, and now he's going to be setting aside from the 7 of Begunia.
And Begunia is going for the lead right now, taking a look in the tri-oval, high and low, stays in line, but let's see what he can do off of turn number 2. If anything, looks like the 13 pulled out by a car length.
Cole Begunia not going to be able to get anything done there. Now coming down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He lost a little bit of ground to the 13 machine. He's going to have to try to gain that back.
I see the 38 Shane Tarrant. He's trying to run a little bit lower down into the middle of the track, but it's not working for him quite yet.
Needs to keep that momentum wound up on the top of the racetrack. He'll also save his tires better up there. Having to run the inside is going to really use that right front tire out, so he has to watch out for that. But what he's doing now is gaining him some time there. A little wiggle off of 2, but he did gain some time on the 7 in the process.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's right back to the back bumper, the 13 machine. Now Fenlison has a face full of the 7, and now, don't look, now here comes the 38 machine trying to get back into the action.
Taryn really using the seams there in the turn, the transitions in the banking on the racetrack. He's using those to help the car turn, but it's getting him really loose, but it's working for him. You can see he's gaining some time, and Begunia is right to the back bumper of Fenlison.
Fenlison, go ahead, Brandon.
Right to the back bumper is the 7 machine. The 38 machine running a little bit lower of a line seems to be helping him through the corners, however. Taryn, it's going to be 3 cars under a blanket for the lead.
You couldn't fit a piece of paper in between the 7 and the 13 off a turn 4 that time. Right to the back bumper. 3 cars under a blanket here through 1 and 2. Here comes Shane Taryn to the bottom.
Shane Taryn trying to look under Begunia. He does not have quite enough of a run as Begunia is right on the back bumper of the 13 of Fenlison, giving him a little bit of a bump into turn 3.
Fenlison gets a little bit loose onto the bottom of the racetrack. Now goes Taryn and the 38 machine. 3 cars battling for the lead. Meanwhile, the rest of the field starting to catch up.
Right now, Fenlison's doing what he needs to do. This Kansas is a very defensive racetrack, and he's using the line to his benefit right now. It's really hard to make a pass down low, so he's doing what he needs to do, but these drivers behind him are going to get really impatient and really have to turn up the wick to be able to get by him.
Yeah, Begunia was already trying to bump him a little bit into 3 and got him loose, but then he dropped back just a little bit more.
Taryn trying a line that we don't normally see here at Kansas, but now here comes Cole Begunia looking onto the apron. He gets a little bit loose, now going into turn number 1, right to the back bumper of the 13 once again.
Here he comes, a little bit of a run off turn 2. Thought he was going to get a little bumper action going on there, but he's right to the back bumper. A little bit of blinking there going on, but is he going to make a dive in turn 3? Nope, he will stay in line. Try to run a little bit higher, but here comes Taryn with a look to the inside. Nothing doing there for the 38. We will stay in line, but the 7 is just, it's almost like he's purposely trying to scare the 13 into a mistake.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Corey, stay right on the back bumper. Maybe Fenlison would make a mistake. And now Taryn trying to scare the 7. He's diving it in down low. A big move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Loose goes at 38. He's going to lose some ground.
38 with the run to the inside. Is he going to go to the dive bomb in the inside? No, he's going to take a conservative run on the inside, running that second seam there, trying to get the car to turn. He'll get it to turn, but he will not have momentum. Begunia will clear and hold the second position. Fenlison will gain about a car length or 2 on these drivers.
Begunia losing a little bit of ground after racing the 38 of Taryn. He looks to be gaining back quite a bit of it in 1 and 2 though.
Begunia now looking underneath the 13 machine, not going to make anything happen that time. The 13 gets a little bit loose now as the 38 trying to take advantage, not going to work that time into turn number 3.
All this battling is bringing Tyler Hensley and Joshua Adams into the mix, so the top 5 all separated within a second right now. This is getting really good, and you can see Bresci not too far away in the 5th position, oh, excuse me, 6th rather. So the field is getting bunched together here, 13 laps into a 150-lap race here at Kansas.
Shane Taryn got pretty good.
Really loose off of turn number 2. Into the wall goes a 38 machine. He holds his ground though. Begunia dive bombing it in for the lead. Fine job out of turn number 4.
Begunia tried the slide job. Michael Fenlison doing the crossover. He's going to get the lead right back.
He tried the Carl Edwards video game trick that he did in 2008 in the real world. Didn't quite work for him. Tried to slide it in, but couldn't get the car to turn in the center. Had to really check up. Lost his momentum, but he already has it right back to the back bumper for another shot at it.
Here comes Shane Taryn looking on the low side once again. They're going to be side by side going down the back straightaway.
38 of Taryn with a slight advantage into 3, growing just a little bit more, but he should lose quite a bit of his run on the exit 4.
Right now, looks like there's a little technical problems with the 7 machine.
Yeah, Cole Begunia blinking all over the place. A lot of internet issues going on his side now. Could that lead to a mistake? Maybe netcode or something. For those of you who aren't familiar with netcode, has to do with an internet error. basically, the servers think you're making contact when you don't, and it can cause some big issues for a couple of drivers.
So that causes Shane Taryn to be a lot more timid in his moves that he has to make. It also makes the 13 a little more timid in his mirror, not quite knowing what exactly is going on with the 7, but everybody is doing a good job giving each other that space they need, and it looks like they are starting to spread out a little bit more in the top 5.
Bagunia now disappeared.
Get really loose in 1 and 2. Taryn was able to get by him.
Taryn got loose, but was really sideways in the process. He ended up still getting the 2nd position from Bagunia. We'll see what the 38 has in store for Michael Fenlison, if anything.
Bagunia maybe going to try to fight back here on the outside here. They're going to be side by side once again. Almost contact made. The 7 machine almost made contact with a wall.
Here comes Taryn to the inside, trying to hold off on the inside, but he cannot do it. The outside, it just has too much momentum. And Josh Adams is getting right to the back bumper, trying to take advantage of the situation, but he will stay in line. Has a head of steam. Watch out for that Ohio Buckeyes machine. Looks like he has something to race with tonight.
Here comes the 88 machine now.
Through all that chaos, Michael Finlayson was able to walk away just a little bit.
Yeah, Fenlison in the 13 machine up there has a little bit of a gap now, but Joshua Adams trying to make his way up through the field. Kind of trying to make his way up to the back bumper of the 38 machine anyways, but where'd Thomas Bressy come from? Last time we checked, he was towards the back of the pack. Thomas Bressy running in that 5th position now. He's made his way up through the field. All these cars kind of managed to catch back up to each other. Looks like everyone's fairly equal on the racetrack now, and these guys may be starting to catch back up to Fenlison.
Yeah, they are trying to do their best right now. Bagunia has taken a couple tenths out. It was up to about a half-second lead. Let's bring up the last lap's graphic for these drivers.
Hart's in the wall behind him a little bit. He's going to lose some ground, but they keep it clean and green.
Last time by, the 7 of Bagunia had almost 2 tenths on Fenlison. Fenlison was actually the slowest of the top 3 that last time by. So let's see what it is this time by. We won't be able to. Oh, another 2 tenths faster for the 7 machine. So Bagunia has something to race with. He has the faster car, but can he manage to find a way by?
Bagunia gets a little bit loose off of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway. He keeps it straight, actually gains some more ground, heading down into turn number 3.
Bagunia getting a pretty good run out of 4 and down the front straightaway. Not quite getting back to the back bumper of the 13 quite yet.
Not quite there yet. The top 3 kind of separating themselves again.
Ryan Hart's in the number 3 machine in the 7th position, bent to the back bumper, now to the inside of Tyler Hensley. Well, he had a look, he goes back in line as they enter turn number 3 in a battle for what is the 6th position. Hart's very well near the wall there off of turn number 3 and 4. He just managed to stay off of it, actually lost a little bit of time in that battle.
One of the things we haven't talked about yet is fuel mileage. 75% fuel mileage. What are you guys thinking?
I'm gonna take a stab at about 45 laps. Not too much confidence in that, but I do think
there's a wreck on the backstretch.
See, we don't
Caution flag on the speedway.
Chuck Sweeting, 26, looks like hard impact down the back straightaway.
Justin Munsell also involved, it looks like.
Oh my, the 26 and the 22 involved. Maybe the 92.
22 and Munsell
looks
into
like
the wall.
92 got around it, but
22 got in the wall and then came down off of 2 into Chuck Sweeting.
Hard contact, the outside wall goes both of those cars. The 22 machine kind of got sandwiched.
Looks like the 92 did get through that though.
Chuck Sweeting in the 26 machine taking it behind the wall. He'll be done for the night. Casey Shue also done for the night. Cody Tabor is a few laps down. He lost connection earlier in this race, so not a lot of cars left. But man, oh man, were those guys putting up a show up front.
Pit road is open. Everyone should be coming down pit road.
Yeah,
Cole Begunia locking his brakes up coming into pit road there, trying to avoid getting into the back of the 13 machine.
Looks like the 92 is staying out, probably just to lead a lap or two.
That is Christopher Matthews in the 92, again staying out, getting a lap led, so that is a bonus point in his championship endeavors. Let's see who gets the race off pit lane. Looks like it'll go to...
Begunia.
I'm looking back, and we don't have it on replay, folks, but Cody Tabor definitely out of this race for good. He wrecked. There was no caution, but
He just got back out on track.
he got back out on track, but his car is suffering from some pretty heavy damage. So unfortunate break for him. The 92 machine out on track as of right now in the lead. He didn't go into pit road yet.
Looks like he's coming this time by, and that'll give the lead back to the 7 machine of Begunia.
Led that important lap for the bonus point there, and he'll come into pit road now.
Joshua Adams in second, and then Michael Finlayson back in third.
Finlayson had a 17-second stop, so I'm wondering if he maybe had some wall contact we didn't see and chose to maybe get some of that repaired, relinquishing some of that track position. Again, 12 drivers, only 12 drivers left on track right now. Sweeting and Casey Shue out of the race as Cody Tabor, I think he's just chugging around laps for to see if he can gain some via attrition. So as of now, the 12 drivers that are on track are all on the lead lap. 25 laps into the 150, the scheduled distance here tonight.
Should they get the 1 to green this time by? I wonder if Begunia's going to take the top or the bottom.
Looks like from the initial maneuver, it looks like he may go to the top. Lights out on the pace car. We'll get the green flag next time by, and I do believe he is taking the top.
Seems to be the place you want to be here onto the starts and restarts so far tonight. So worked out for Finlayson the first time. Begunia is going to give it a go.
Sometimes in the Xfinity machines, we actually saw Wednesday night the bottom was the place to be, because even though the top is where you want to race, on the restarts you don't have as much momentum built up, so the bottom being the shorter distance does actually prevail. But with these Monster Energy Cup machines having less grip and a lot more power, you do want to keep it wound up against the fence, which I think is why Begunia is choosing that line. So we'll see how this works out. Remember, once the pace car pulls in, he can go at any time to restart this race.
Pace car pulling down in the pit road. Cole Begunia already on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
Cole Begunia with a great jump off the restart. Adams and Taryn going to be side by side still. Taryn trying to gain that second position.
Adams has clear, but Shane Taryn is fighting back on the outside. It looks like Taryn might clear Adams. Then Finlayson's going to be looking to the outside of Adams as well.
Big wiggle from Taryn on the 38 off of turn 2, but he's able to hold the line just fine. Here comes Adams, not giving up on the inside of the 88 machine, trying to get it working down there. I don't think it's going to work. Here comes the 38 and the 13 to come and take advantage of the situation.
And Thomas Bressi also looking to take advantage of the situation of Adams being stuck on the bottom.
Ring around the top right now. Here comes the 13, and here comes Bressi soon behind this. And then we see Ryan Hart's in the 3. So the 88 might be stuck down there trying to force his way back to the top. It's not going to work. He's going to have to wait for the next available space. Maybe he could squeak in behind Bressi. Yes, I think he'll be able to.
So the 88 machine losing quite a bit of positions right there. Taryn holding on to that second position right now. But here comes Fenlison. Thomas Bressi ducking underneath Fenlison. Not going to make anything work that time by.
Fenlison, remember, was the leader on the opening stint of the race. Lost some time in the pits trying to get that back. Now Taryn right up against the fence off of 2 in the safer barrier. Lost some time. The 13 right to the back bumper. He will not make the dive. He'll stay in line through 3 and 4.
Michael Fenlison wants that second position back so that way he can focus on taking the lead back away from Bagunia, but he has to get around Taryn first, and they've got company from behind as well.
A whole lot of cars back there behind Taryn trying to figure out how to get around him.
Fenlison, Bressi, we have Josh Adams right on the back bumper, Ryan Hart's not too far back, Hensley at the back of the picture, Rusty Capel trying to tack on at the end of this battle. So 2nd through about 8th right now, all within about 2 seconds. But this is all what is, let's see, can't really tell right now, about a second or so behind Cole Bagunia.
Michael Fenlison got a really good run out of 4. He's looking to the outside of Taryn. He's going to get there. Looks like Taryn just letting him go, maybe.
Taryn gets a wiggle in the try over there. He's on the bottom. Is he going to be able to slide up? He's going to try to, but it's not going to happen. Going to have to give back the position, and here comes Bressi to fill in the hole, and Adams a little bit further back trying to do the same.
Thomas Bressi saying thank you, Taryn, but bye-bye, I'm out. I'm going to try to take this position away from the 13 machine.
Adams as well getting by Taryn. Looks like Taryn might have a spot, but in front of the 3 of Hart's, not quite. Hart's is going to fill the gap.
Something we saw.
So now Shane Taryn losing as many positions as Adams did.
Something we saw Wednesday night, and it seems to be following suit tonight. You try to make a pass, you try to make that move down to the bottom. If you're not able to complete it, instead of gaining a position that you were going for, you end up losing 3 or 4 spots in the process.
Yeah, absolutely, and once you get stuck on that bottom of the racetrack there, it's, the high line will prevail, and it's just not a place you want to be.
Bressi now in the 3rd position, trying to see what he can do with the number 13 of Michael Fenlison. Let's pull up the battle tracker for the first time tonight. Last time by, Fenlison was actually a little bit faster than Bressi, but let's see what it is this time by, because I know that 24, he's always a fast driver in this league.
Looks like Fenlison actually consistently running a little bit higher of a line than the 24 machine is. A little bit more confidence maybe up against that outside wall. Whether that can lead to good or bad things, you never know here in Kansas, especially with how close they are to the outside wall. Bressi trying to dive it in that time by, not going to work.
Bressi's trying to run a little bit lower. I wonder if he might just be trying to save the
13.
right side of the car a little bit.
Ryan Hart's all the way to...
Ryan Hart's in the 3 machine almost took a wild ride. He manages to save it. We're going to keep it clean and green.
Yeah, Hart's got really loose off of 2, used all the real estate to get that thing wound back up. He did do so, carries on just fine. Bressi here on the front straightaway, trying to make a move on the 13. Looked high, nothing doing. Will he look low? Let's see the line difference through 1 and 2. You can see, as you said, looks like actually that time Bressi took it up a little higher, running Fenlison's line. See if that makes any difference for his lap.
Thomas Bressi getting right to the back bumper, the 13 machine now. Looks like Bressi's going to try to dive it in there once again. Maybe going to make up some ground here off turn number 4.
Last up, Bressi was a little bit quicker than both Fenlison and Bagunia, so he just needs to get around that 13.
Last time by, the 13 actually had the best lap. 13 of Fenlison ran a 31.934, the only driver other than the 88 of Adams in that second bracket.
Justin Munsell taking it behind the wall now. He's done for the night.
22 machine, remember he's a fast driver, but we don't know what happened, perhaps some wall contact, but regardless of such.
He was caught up in that wreck between the 26 machine and...
Oh, yes, forgot about that.
So he calls it a night.
So Cole,
Thomas Bressi trying to dive it in there once again. Cole Bagunia pulling away for this thing right now.
Cole Bagunia has a half a second on these drivers. A big wiggle from the 13.
Almost completely sideways off turn number 2. Bressi had to check up. No ground even gained from that.
Wiggly, jiggly, and all sorts of squiggly for the 13 off of turn 2, and seems to be off of turn 4 as well. These guys are having a really hard time keeping these things stable here at the Kansas Speedway.
Looks like heading down into turn number 1, Bressi consistently trying to pull the same move. It makes me wonder what his tires are going to end up doing if these guys get a late run.
Down the back straightaway here, you can see he gets about to 178 miles an hour. Bressi, you can see really driving it in deeper. Actually, we're at a higher line, down to about 158 miles an hour. Let's see what they're able to run down the front straightaway. See here, about 195. Will he hit 200? Not quite. 199 miles an hour. And it looks like they're gaining some time on Bagunia.
Yeah, they're running about a tenth or two quicker each lap than Bagunia. I wonder if Bagunia just kind of burnt his tires off early in this run.
Could very well be. Bagunia had a pretty big gap on the field, and looks like that's coming to an end now. These guys slowly reeling him back in.
New updates to the iRacing tire model in the recent past has made driver ability a lot more important. How you drive that machine really affects your tire wear, really affects how your car is on the long runs. So it looks like Bagunia may have gotten out a little bit too hard of a start as the 13 and 24 are starting to reel him back in.
24, Bressi is definitely a little bit quicker than both of them, but he just can't get around them.
The beast of the Kansas Speedway. It's one thing to catch him, it's one thing to pass him. We all know the passing part is a lot more difficult. Bressi takes a look on the outside as the 13 takes it all the way to the apron on the tri-oval. Nothing doing it in this time by. Looks like we may have a battle going on with Ryan Hartz, Shane Tarrant, and Tyler Hensley. These drivers under a blanket. This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Joshua Adams really low. I think he might have got loose off of 2.
Adams got really loose off of 2, almost completely sideways off the corner. He gathers it back up.
Bressi has regrouped and gotten right to the back bumper yet again. Let's see if he takes a dive for it in turn 1 and 2. He will not. But here comes Ryan Hartz a little bit further back underneath Shane Tarrant. Trying to take the dive. Nothing doing.
Tyler Hensley is going to get to the outside of Hartz, and looks like he will get around and down the back straightaway or entering 3.
Do you
They're
guys
going to be side by side. Hensley looking to take away a position away from the 3 car of Hartz.
Do you guys see what I see with Shane Tarrant's vehicle right now?
Yes.
I believe that it's internet issues.
Okay.
Yeah, Shane Tarrant's been blinking all over the place here, and you know, every once in a while it'll show some damage on these vehicles, even though there is none for the driver that, well, is driving it.
Yeah, the physics in the internet model. Whoa, big slide.
Big squiggle off of turn number 2.
How did he save that car?
He must be that daggone good.
38 to the bottom here. Here comes Hensley around the outside. He'll get the run, and Ryan Hartz will fill the spot in. So -2 positions here for the number 38 machine, and he got his hood back.
That he did. Looks like the 88 machine is slow. Or he was slow.
I was going to say, that was a little rude.
No, the 88 machine was slow. I think he got loose off a turn 4 that time by. Just compared to the speed of the cars behind him, he lost a lot of ground, and looks like Bressi not quite up to the back bumper of the 13 anymore, but he's still right there.
Well, looks like we have kind of evened out just a little bit. Bressi's not done. I think he still is faster than the 13, but he's not trying as aggressively as he once did to try to get by. The lead has stabilized between 1st and 2nd at about 3 to 4 tenths.
I think Bressi just kind of realized that these guys can't be battling if they really want to catch the 7th machine of Bagunia.
I'll tell you, Ryan Hartz and Tyler Hensley, they're not backing down from this battle. This is for the 5th spot. Here comes Hartz, getting loose at the tri-oval. Hartz all the way down to the inside, manages to save it. And there comes Shea Taryn like two trailer park girls. Round the outside is Taryn off of turn 2. But that was a huge moment from the 3 in the trial.
Big wiggle off of turn number 2, almost in the hearts.
Everyone's getting loose.
Of all places, though, Ryan Hart's got loose in the tri-oval there. I've not seen that happen yet.
Well, there's pretty much no banking there, and you're turning, so it's not going to have much load in the car.
Yeah, the car's very light through the tri-oval there, and looks like almost tapping again. Hartz manages to gather it back up. He's got his eyes set on the 38 machine once again.
But the battle for the lead, lead, guys, is getting tight again. Right now, Hensley is, Fenlison is only 2/10 off the bumper of Begunia, and Bresci is still tagging right along to this battle. So we will have a battle shaping up for the lead, maybe even this next coming lap.
Yeah, Finlayson running the apron can get pretty loose down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be very careful. Now, Bresci right to the back bumper of the 13 machine once again. Bresci trying to stay as close as he can to these guys. He wants to be involved in this fight.
And we are only 25 laps into this run, guys. We expect fuel mileage to go maybe about 45 or so laps as these guys really get tight. But we're gonna, caution
on the speedway.
Is that the second time that I brought up fuel mileage and we've had a wreck? It is Rusty Capel.
And it looks like the 51 machine of Cody Tabor involved in something as well. Actually, I think Tabor's engine just blew.
Yeah, Cody's engine just let go behind the incident.
Tabor's engine let go as the caution came out. Unfortunate break for him.
But the wreck was...
Track safety's going to have some cleanup to do there. Capel, the 66 machine, got really, really loose off of turn number 2, trying to save it all the way down the straightaway. Kind of came up in front of the 40, or came down in front of the 42 machine. Capel had nowhere to go, slammed on the brakes, and that got him sideways. And around he went, didn't hit anything. Good job at the 42.
Yeah, really nice job by the 42 and the 66 to not hit anything.
But pit stops underway right now. Begunia, Fenlison, Bresci, and company all down pit lane here as we approach lap number 50.
Taryn stayed out.
That must be for... let's see, has he led a lap? This is the first lap he has led. I wonder if that's what it's for, because obviously his championship rival, if you will, Begunia, has led the majority of this race, so to keep himself in contention, he needs the point, but I have to imagine he's going
to lose so much track position.
Or is he really, though? He's going
to lose for about 2 or 3 spots. Actually, he's only in, what, 6th?
Yeah, we only have 11 drivers on track and a couple have damage, so... And guys, I would like to point out, somebody in chat liked my reference.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you, fans. I am the pun master. Primetime, every channel has their kind of nuances. Every channel has their reputation. I like to have the corny puns. Brandon's the high energy guy. And
what happened to Begunia?
Begunia?
He dropped way back on pit road.
That's
interesting.
He's back in this. He's gonna be in the 5th position once Taryn pits.
Wow.
And his stock really doesn't look that much slower.
Yeah, pit stop time-wise, right on track. So
it looks like he had issues getting into his stall, maybe.
Yeah, so that'll be a battle for him getting back to the front. I mean, only a couple positions to do, but we do know how hard it is to pass here. And Taryn did come to pit lane. He is on there right now.
Yeah, it looks like Begunia overshot his stall, and he didn't realize it for about 5 seconds and just sat there until he backed up. So that's where he lost all his track position.
But Fenlison back to the lead, and we now have we're now 1/3 distance in this race tonight.
And one thing we didn't really talk about is the stage. We kind of forgot about that through all the battle.
Yeah, remember, for those who haven't followed this league, the Hardline Racing League does have 1 stage per race, but they do not throw a caution out. The race continues, though the points are given appropriately, so it is sometimes hard for us if we're focusing on something else. Sometimes we do forget that battle, so...
Which Begunia did win the stage.
So the playoff point and the appropriate regular season points will be awarded to the top 10.
Lights are out on the pace car. One more lap to get back to the green flag. Looks like Michael Finlayson will be taking the outside.
These guys getting stacked up, doubled up, and ready for the restarts once again here from Kansas. Do we know who the stage winner was, by the way? That was lap 40.
5.
Begunia.
45.
Begunia.
That's what I figured.
I think Evan just mentioned that, didn't he?
Yeah, I just said that, Brandon.
Well, we know Brandon and his attention span.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I have a lot to focus on. And, so every once in a while, I have to focus on something else.
Yeah, it's just a roast. We love doing it.
It's my apologies. It's all part of broadcasting. But you're not wrong about my attention span, either way. So pace car getting ready to make that hard to left turn down into the pit lane. 13 is your leader, 24 on the low side in second. Getting into the restart zone, green flag is in the air, 13's on the throttle, we're underway once again.
5 of Hensley did not get going anywhere near how he would have liked to. 88 of Adams was able to clear him and get up in front of him.
Begunia.
Thomas Bressy right to the back bumper of the 13 out of turn number 2.
Begunia already diving to the inside, trying to get underneath Hensley in turn 1 and 2. They're 3 wide, a little ways back. Zimmer, Tarrant, and Christopher Matthews in the 92. That seizes up pretty quickly. But back to the front, we have Fedlison, Bressy, and Joshua Adams, 1, 2, 3 right now.
And don't look now, Tyler Hensley has made his way back up to the 4th position.
And then Cole Begunia right behind him in 5th. Oh, Ryan Hart's down on the apron in 1 and 2. Got really loose to the tri-oval.
Oh, and he really is all... Let's go back on replay and catch that if we can, because he was really offline there. See, he dove underneath Kyle Zimmer here off of 4, all the way to the inside there near the grass, came back into the tri-oval. Looks like the transition from the tri-oval apron to the actual banking got him loose, and then he just had to navigate as best he could back into the racing line. So that cost him, well, he's now 5 seconds off the leaders right now, so he'll be in his own little world.
Looks like Thomas Bressy fell off the back bumper of the 13 machine just a little bit. Completely different approaches to these corners here. 13 kind of easing it in. Bressy diving it into the corners.
These cars do look pretty even though. Looks like Finlayson was a little bit quicker the last lap.
Don't look now, but here comes Cole Begunia trying to make his way back up into the 4th position. He's right onto the back bumper of the 5 machine of Hensley.
We know
Adams got into the wall a little bit out too.
Yeah.
Don't think it hurt the car too much, but he lost his momentum definitely.
That allows Hensley to catch back up to the 88th machine that time by. Now on a turn number 4, Begunia with the momentum up to the back bumper of the 5 machine.
Tight battle for 3, 4, 5. Also a very tight battle for the lead. Bressy's right to the back bumper yet again of Finlayson in the 13. What's he going to do with it? Gets a little bit lower run off of turn 2. Gets a little bit of a run down the back straightaway. Do we make a dive or stay in line?
So he's staying in line.
I wouldn't recommend trying to make a dive because we saw how that worked out for a couple other drivers, and you'll end up at the back of the line. Adams getting really loose out of turn number 4.
Oh, there's a car in the grass.
Make a move.
There's a car in the
Kyle
grass.
Zimmer, Credit 1 machine in the tri-oval grass.
He's going to gather it back up. It doesn't look like he hits anything. It looked like he got really loose off turn number 4, takes the spill through the grass. He gathers it back up. We're still clean and green.
Remember, drivers, remember, guys, the Kansas Speedway has banking transitions in between each lane that is getting a lot of drivers loose, so they have to watch out for that. Here comes Hensley. Here comes Bressy with another run. We also have side-by-side battle. Here comes Tyler Hensley underneath Josh Adams in 1 and 2.
Adams getting a pretty good run out of 2. Hensley sliding up.
Between those two drivers. Hensley has to let off the gas. He's going to lose a couple positions.
Begunia with the power dive into 3. Clears Adams, but here, watch out for the Kansas crossover. Big checkup.
Contact between those two drivers. Adams in the 7. Make contact off of turn number 4. That was almost right. More contact down the front straightaway.
They brought the 66 of Holloway right back up to them.
Do you have a voice left, Brandon?
A little bit.
As that battle seizes, Cole Begunia obviously knew that it was a long shot for that to happen. It did not work, but he'll regroup himself, try to take another stab at Josh Adams, maybe have a different approach. Here, back to the front. Here comes Bressie, guys. Back to the front. Battle for the lead. Bressie trying to take a look to the outside in the tri-oval. Little bit of a block, lost his momentum. Let's see what he tries to do in 1 and 2.
Staying in line for now.
Likes that move. Fenwelson kind of cut off his run, but this is the battle for the lead. Now on to turn number 2, down to the back straightaway.
Wiggle.
Both of them are wiggling. Begunia down under Adams. He made it look, but couldn't quite do anything.
This is when patience starts going away, because you know you're a faster driver, but the Kansas Speedway is making it really difficult for you to show what you really have. Really difficult to make these passes. Your patience is going to run dry as this race runs out. Shane Tarrant a little bit ways back, trying to get around Joel Holloway here. He's underneath him off of turn number 2. Shane Tarrant trying to regain the 6th position here. As we enter turn 3, he'll dive it in. I think Holloway will kind of assist him in just giving the position up. Get Shane Tarrant moving up back through the grid.
Begunia got a pretty good run out of 4. He might get side by side with the 80 of Adams.
Coming up, these guys
bumper.
already made contacts. More than
into the wall.
Adams under the wall. More contact between those two drivers. Begunia going to try to dive it down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Josh Adams get really loose off of turn number 2, so Begunia will get the position side by side with Tyler Hensley here. Hensley makes the power dive into turn number 3. Adams will try to make the crossover, but he's not close enough to do so, or is he? Off turn number 4, a little bit of a wiggle. Try to get a run to the outside through the tri-oval, but not enough. Give the position to Hensley.
That brought Tarrant right back up to him.
Some close racing here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. A lot of contact being made between those two drivers. Almost short track style racing here tonight on the 1.5 miles.
Back to the front, we have the same kind of situation going on. About a 1.5-tenth lead for the 13 of Fenwelson. Bressie is just trying to hang back there, figure out what he can do, maybe wait for a mistake to happen. So far, it hasn't happened.
No, not yet. Fenwelson being very consistent here, running right up against the top of the racetrack here, running the rim here. Thomas Bressie just trying to follow in his track, seeing if he can do anything better than what the 13 machine is doing right now. Nothing seems to be working right now, although Bressie has gotten close a couple of times. Shane
Tarrant getting to the back bumper of the 88 here. Tarrant making his way back through the pack. You can see here off of turn 4, trying to cut to the inside, get that run off of 4 in through the front straightaway. He's right to the back bumper. Let's see if he can make a move on this next coming lap.
Right to the back bumper of the 88 machine is the 38 of Tarrant. This is a battle between Shane Tarrant and Joshua Adams now. Tarrant diving it out, see if he can get the run down the back straightaway. Adams gets loose. The 38 dives to the high side. That's going to be a position gain.
Yeah, Adams
just yielded it.
Adams got really loose off.
I think Hensley hits a wall.
I think you're right. Not too much ground lost from the 5 machine, but he did lose a little bit there.
So it looks like here comes Tarrant running the top, right against the fence, trying to get it to the outside of Hensley. A little bit of a crossover, changing of lines there off of turn number 2. Let's see what Tarrant can do, if he can get any closer through 3 and 4 this time around the speedway. Right up in the Larson line, Dustin the, oh, never mind. I'm not going to finish that line, someone else talk.
Dustin marbles up off the top of the racetrack.
That's what I wanted to say.
I'll finish it for you, Corey.
Dusted the dust off, that wasn't going to make sense.
Don't look, now we have a battle for the lead once again. Bressie was really close once again. It looks like he'll lose a little bit more ground off of turn number 2 that time, Bobby. But whatever Bressie was just doing, or whether maybe the 13 made a mistake there. Fenlison, who knows, but Bresci was right to the back bumper.
The last lap, Begunia was about a 10th quicker than Finlayson. We'll see this lap.
32.7 for Fenlison, 32.68 for Bresci, so just a hair faster for the 24. Big wiggle for the 24 into the wall, a little bit off of 2. Not enough to kill momentum, but just kicking some sparks up there off the safer barrier. Here he comes into turn number 3 and 4. Kind of holding the same distance back to the 13. If anything, I think the 13 got a little bit better run.
We've seen all this racing so far, guys. We're not even halfway through this thing.
Halfway coming up here, about 6 laps.
Incident for Hensley here. He's really slow entering turn number 1 right now.
He just got really loose out of 4 and got down in the apron. Just about lost it.
Well, loose again off of 2. Battle for the 7th position. Ryan Hart's trying to get underneath Joel Holloway here in the 66 through 3 and 4. Holloway right up against the fence. Hart's drifting up just a bit. See if who can maintain or gain spots off of turn number 4. Looks like Hart's with a dive down to the inside through the tri-oval. Not quite. 66 is hanging on.
Hart's trying to dive it down into 1 and 2.
Both of those drivers got really loose. There was almost a wreck down the back straightaway. Fenlison was completely sideways off of turn number 2 there, and Bresci almost got on the back of him.
Bresci got a pretty good run out of 4. He's going to get to the back bumper of the 13 of Finlayson entering turn 1.
Maybe almost contact made there going into turn number 1. Bresci right to the back bumper now, coming out of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway.
Here they come. Still the same 2-car length advantage for Fenlison, but a big dive in by Bresci. Really drove it in deeper into turn number 3. Gained some time back off of Fenlison. Let's see if it holds off turn 4. Little bit of a look to the inside for Bresci. Nothing doing. Looks like the 13 will get a little bit more momentum off of 4.
I think Bresci got really loose there off turn number 4 that time. Brian was kind of forced to run the bottom of the racetrack there.
Bresci is driving in really deep right now into these corners.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a little bit lower of an entry than Fenlison does, trying to keep the momentum up, trying not to let off the gas as much as he possibly can.
Begunia is slowly but surely closing in on these drivers. He's about a 10th and a half quicker last lap.
The gap between Bresci and Begunia is about 1.6 seconds, and as you said, Evan, about a 10th in the bank for Begunia that last time round. So if he can keep doing that, obviously he'll take some time off the advantage to get back up for the battle for the lead.
Bresci was forced to let off the gas that time, and now they're going to be bump drafting down the back straightaway, just about.
Bresci with a little bit of a look to the inside. You can see he's just running that seam there, the second seam in between the 2nd and 3rd lanes, but the 13's going to get the momentum off of turn number 4 and pull ahead by about a car length. Bresci with the pop. You can see Bresci really is driving it in deeper into the turns, and sometimes it works, sometimes it gives the 13 the better run on corner exit. Looks like the 13 got the better exit indeed that last time.
They both got really loose, but Bresci lost a little bit more time than Finlayson did.
Looks like now Bresci cross flags in the air, halfway to go this time by Bresci, trying to look for a move. These cars wiggling all over the racetrack right now.
I hesitate to say it, but we're about 26 laps into the run right now. We expect fuel mileage to take about 45 laps around Kansas Speedway, so within 20 laps, I'd expect pit stops, and these drivers have already dropped 2 seconds off their best lap, so really, we may have tire strategy come into play before fuel.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up, would it pay to short pit here, guys?
Yes, it would. We saw it quite a bit in Wednesday night's race.
Bresci finally has a look to the inside, and the tri-oval might have a little bit of an advantage. Nope, I thought he did. We'll back off, stay back in line.
Still right to the back bumper of the 13 machine now a couple of times through turns 1 and 2. Bresci has decided to let off the gas to avoid getting the back bumper. Now both of those guys get really loose. Bresci loses some ground.
Fenlison in the wall.
Not enough to kill momentum, though.
It may have caused Bressie. It may have caused Bressie to back off in reaction to that, and it looks like him hitting the wall actually gave him a bigger lead.
Bressie driving in really deep into one.
Fenelison maybe scared himself there, doesn't want to drive it as hard into the corners, and now Fenelison gets really loose off turn number 2 once again.
Begunia is getting pretty close. He's only about 1.4 seconds off of our leader, and Terran's right behind him.
I can't believe none of these guys have gone around yet. This is incredible racing, completely sideways off the corners. They still managed to keep it straight and competitive.
Bressie with a power run off of turn 4 down the front straightaway, gained everything that he had lost right to the back bumper yet again of the 13, but looks like Fenelison is just managing to find something off corner exit as Bressie hits the wall off 2.
Bressie just a little bit of a tap to the outside safety barrier that time by, not going to play much effect into his speed at all. Now heading down to the corner, actually has to let off a little bit to avoid hitting the 13.
30 laps into this run at the line, so probably about 10 or 15 more until they have to pit.
You can just see through the windshields, these drivers really soaring at those steering wheels, keeping those machines in control at their very best abilities. It's just, I don't even want to know what these guys are enduring in the cockpit. This does not look like an easy race.
Absolutely not. This is definitely mentally and physically exhausting for these drivers right now. Mentally, they're trying to figure out how, you know, their strategy, their pit strategy, plus trying to keep these cars straight, and their arms are probably falling off.
Look
right
at
now.
Bressie!
Trying to wheel these things sideways off turn number 4 is the 24.
Oh, Cole Begunia on pit road.
Cole Begunia playing the short pit strategy here. Is it just a matter of time before these other guys try to play in effect too?
At 2 seconds a lap, 2.5 plus seconds a lap, I feel like he's going to have to draw these leaders in early because he's going to gain so much time on them.
Yeah, if just now with these drivers staying out at least 1 more second, it looks like Fenelson will be coming down to pit road this time. He's going to be ahead of them. Looks like Bressie will be coming with Fenelson.
This is not an easy pit entry, so these drivers are really going to have to watch out for their speed at the cone.
Fenelson locks it up. Bressie locks it up a little bit. Both to make the speed, I believe. Good job by those drivers. Bressie actually lost a little bit of time going into pit road there.
Move Shane Terran into the lead as he has yet to pit.
Terran's going to lose a lot of time to these drivers now.
Only Terran.
Like Terran and the Hearts.
Yep.
Hearts also has yet to pit.
Now, we'd only estimate that, I'd say maybe about 15 tops left. 15 laps tops left that they possibly could run on fuel. Now, if they do that, that'd put them around lap number 96, 97. They'd still have to pit again from there. So nothing really to gain at this point from pitting later. Maybe, yeah, I can't really think of anything as Hearts has come to pit lane.
The only thing that Terran can hope for right now is a yellow flag to fly before he goes into pit lane.
Stays out another time by, taking lap number 84 as he comes off turn 4 this time by.
So Ryan Hearts has now gone into pit road, so it's just Terran out there now.
So as reference right now, Terran coming into turn number 1. Cole Begunia is 1 lap down. Now he's entering turn number 1, but within a matter of a lap or 2, he will unlap himself, and then after that, it's just money in the bank, gaining time back on Terran.
Yeah, Begunia did flip-flop with Fenelson and Bressie. He's ahead of them now.
And that is
just from 1 lap.
Yep, that 2 second, remember the 2.5 second difference in lap times ended up eating up that gap and then giving him that little bit of buffer that he has now over the 13. But Bressie and the 13, exact same fashion they came in right within a couple feet of each other. Amazing how close those pit stops were.
Shane Terran looks like he is still staying out. Be 35 laps of this run at the line.
So this is 65 laps to go here at the Kansas Speedway for the Fast Track Sims Cup Series for the Hardline Racing League. We expect with the 75% fuel cell that these drivers have, as Terran scrapes the fence in turn 1 and 2, we expect these drivers to go maybe about 45 laps. Big wiggle. So Terran
right in front of
Cole Begunia there.
Yeah.
Here comes a power dive.
Big move. They're going to be 3 wide through the corner.
And here comes Begunia with the look to the outside still. He's trying to hang on there as Fenlison just dove like a bat out of hell there, and it worked for him. He's going to be able to clear.
What happened there? Begunia making the crossover.
He's going to try the same thing. Crossover.
Slide job through the corner. Fenlison with a crossover.
Are we at Eldora?
Heading down the back straightaway.
Are we at Eldora or Kansas? I can't tell right now.
I don't even know what happened this last lap.
Wow, playing it out like it's the end of the race. We're not even, we just hit halfway, just about 10 laps ago. Shane Tarrant hits pit road that time by. We know he's not going to be competitive right now.
We exchanged about 3 crossovers and 2 dive bombs in a matter of 2 laps, and all that combined has equaled Michael Fenlison to take the lead. Cole Begunia right to the back bumper in second, and Bressi still just hanging back a few car lengths back in third.
Never thought I'd have to say the word slide job on a mile and a half track, but that's what just happened. A slide job and a crossover multiple times there between those 2 drivers.
I guess you could say these drivers are running the cushion and they're pulling the old Eldora slide job here, just doing it at about 5 times the speed. But regardless of that, I don't know how it worked, but it worked. And here comes Bressi with the run behind Begunia. And Begunia is not too far off Fenlison, so the top 3 all within about 2/10.
Now Bressi right to the back bumper of the 7 machine of Begunia now off turn number 4. Those drivers going to be under a blanket.
Bressi to the looks to the outside as Begunia goes to the inside in the tri-oval. Sometimes
chops his nose off. Bressi not going to like that one too much.
Sometimes the tri-oval apron works. Sometimes it actually hurts you. I think it actually hurt Begunia that last time by. He gets a little loose off of 2. That helps Bressi out, but not enough to be able to make a move.
Meanwhile, Fenlison liking this battling that's going on right now. He's got a chance to create a gap.
A little bit of a wiggle from Begunia off of turn number 4, but I mean, that's kind of the common nature of how these drivers are having to race this track now. Everybody is loose off of every turn. Just a matter of who can keep it less loose than their competitors, if you will. And
yeah, everyone is slipping and sliding out there.
Brandon, biggest compliment for you of all time. Someone said you sound like the World of Outlaws guy.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But this is the closest.
Oh, Bressi! I thought he was going to go up into the wall there. He made a big wiggle off turn number 4.
He's arcing it into the tri-oval.
The tri-oval, when it's this slick, the tri-oval actually becomes a legitimate turn. You actually kind of have to accommodate it as your line for it. Another wiggle for Bressi, excuse me, for Begunia. Bressi gets kind of stuck. He can't do anything with it. He's just having to hang back in line. And Fenlison hasn't really pulled out at all, only about maybe 2 or 3 tenths at max. These 3 drivers staying pretty close together.
I think Bressi is a little bit quicker than Begunia right now. I don't know if Begunia's just trying to save his tires just a little bit, or if that 1 lap is making a difference.
Yeah, I don't know, but still, all race, just between these couple of drivers, they've been fighting all race. Now heading down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3, the 24 of Bressi right to the back bumper to the 7 once again.
Bressi's going to have to do a slide job or something if he wants to get around the 7 of Begunia. He's going to need to do it soon.
2 ways to pass at Kansas. It's either a dive bomb on the bottom groove and try to cross over, as we saw Fenlison do, or it's try to get to the outside of a driver off of 4 and get the run outside entering turn 1. Those are the 2 ways you're going to pass. It's really hard to do the turn 4 approach, so it's going to have to most likely be the Eldora/Kansas slide job.
The easiest way to pass still is just wait for the driver in front of you to make a mistake, but that can take a lot longer.
And a lot of times if a driver in front of you hits the wall, sometimes you end up getting collected in it, because if you're right behind them, sometimes you don't have enough time to be able to evade him. Bressi all the way to the grass through the tri-oval. Nothing doing this time by lap number 94.
Bressi gonna try to make a power move down into turn number 1. Not gonna make anything happen that time. Begunia was still with the advantage on the outside.
He gave it the old try, but nothing happened.
He really lost a lot of momentum. He dropped back quite a bit.
But better to make the move now, better to learn what's going to work and what's not going to work at this point in the race where there's still enough time to regroup and take another stab at it.
tell you, Finlayson is liking what he's seen in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, those guys battling it out behind him, and it allows Finlayson to gain the gap, and now Finlayson trying to pull away from these guys.
Finlayson about a 1/10.5 faster, actually about a 1/10 or so even faster than Begunia last time by. The gap out about a half a second. Bressy's lost about a 1/10 or so off of Begunia, but he's getting right to the back bumper. He can tell he obviously is the faster car, just cannot manage to find a way around him.
I think Bressy is the fastest car right now. He just can't get around the 7.
Yeah, Thomas Bressy has shown a lot of speed in that race car here tonight, and just trying to get around Thomas Bressy. We know he can compete with Finlayson as well.
Big
wiggle.
Big wiggle off turn number 2. Now Duck City inside of Begunia. They're going to be side by side. Bressy trying to pull the slider. Not going to work. He didn't get enough of a run, but he's still holding position on that bottom line.
Nothing happening this time by Bressy, also the biggest mover of the race. He's gained 9 positions since the start of this race. He obviously not the best qualifier, but is probably one of the fastest cars on the track now. Still trying to find a way around Begunia here. Off of turn number 2, looks like he has the better run. To the outside goes Bressy.
Begunia gets really loose off turn number 2 that time. Bressy slips by on the outside.
I think at that point, Begunia almost kind of just said, okay, just go. I'm losing all control of my car. I don't want to fight, just go. So here we come. Does Bressy have anything for Finlayson? He's going to have to gain over a second now as in all of that battle. Finlayson has checked out.
Michael Finlayson with a good size lead right now. Now Cole Begunia going to try to play catch up with the 24 machine of Bressy, but I think Bressy's got his eyes set on the 13.
Yeah, Bressy is already closing in just a little bit. He should be able to catch him.
Very quickly, guys, as we approach lap number 100 very shortly. Just want to do a quick through the field. Oh, Bressy never
drifting out of 4.
Bressy's still loose.
Still trying to save that race car through the triangle. Still trying to save it down into turn number 1.
Can he get control of it to be able to make turn number 1 and 2? Looks like he has, but that was about probably a half-mile long drift, and it's still not over apparently.
My oh my, Thomas Bressy trying to drive the wheels off of that race car. Got really loose down there through the tri-oval.
Bressy in the wall.
Side wall.
Into the sidewall?
The outside wall.
There we go. We have to go on board and watch this driver go at it. Thomas Bressy on racetrack right now. Enter turn number 1. You can see he's hitting the second set of dotted lines here. He's in decent control, but once we hit off 2, you can see him really soaring at it. And here we go through number 3 and 4. Looks like he's actually pretty smooth there through 3 and 4 this time by. Nope, here comes the saw. Here comes the hacksaw off of turn number 4. Actually not too bad that time.
Would have been fun to watch it last time by.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Bressy driving wheels off this car right now. The 24 machine still trying to catch up to the 13 out front of Finlayson. Finlayson looked like he got loose off turn number 2 that time by.
And while we're watching Bressy on board, you can kind of see the dynamic track on iRacing really working itself in. The top groove is getting progressively darker and darker, which means more rubber going down, more heat going into the track. Car in the grass. That's Kyle Zimmer.
Didn't he already take a spill through the grass once today?
He is just really trying to mow that grass down.
He made one sweep through, decided he'd make another just to make things even. He saves it once again. We keep it clean and green still.
Just got straight loose off of turn number. Got straight loose off of turn number 4 through the grass. Pretty much carbon copy of what he did about 50 or so laps ago. So now, let me try what I was going to do about 4 laps ago. Let's do a quick through the field here. Cut me off if anything happens, guys. Leading the race now, the 13 car of Michael Finlayson. Thomas Bressy in the 2nd position. Cole Begunia, the points leader, in 3rd. We have Josh Adams in the 4th position. Shane Tarrant, 2nd in points, in the 5th spot. Ryan Hart's in the 3 machine, starting in, well, currently running in 6th, rather.
Oh, really loose gets the 7 machine. Thomas Bressy up on the outside wall. They keep it clean and green still. Begunia loses a lot of ground.
Continue on, Corey.
I think I was on Ryan Hart's in the 6th position. Tyler Hensley currently in 7th, and he is down to the apron here, down the back straightaway. Right now, he's now in 8th as Christopher Matthews is in 7th. We'll skip to 9th after Matthews is in 9th position, Joel Holloway, who is now going to try to get by Tyler Hensley as well. Then Kyle Zimmer, who is the agricultural specialist today, in the 10th position. Rusty Capel in 11th, and then off track right now in 12th is Justin Munsell. 13th, Chuck Sweeting. Cody Tabor with his issues in 14th, and then rounding out the field was Casey Shue.
Bressie is really starting to close in on Finlayson. He's got that gap down to only 0.8 of a second.
Thomas Bressie in the 24 machine, the fastest car, at least on the longer runs on the racetrack here today.
All right.
Definitely closing ground on the 13.
Now we're going to try to go on board with him. I think it's going to get juicy again. See here through 3 and 4. You can just see the hacksaw at action right now. There he goes.
That's a real good time to go on with him, Corey.
I think he was turning right there more than he was turning left.
He's got that gap down to half a second.
Actually, looks like he was pretty smooth, but you can see Finlayson
gets really loose off turn number 2 that time. That's going to allow the ground to close even further.
You know what race this is reminding me of, guys? 2011 Atlanta Motor Speedway, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. That's what this race is seeming like right now. Who could stay out of control more in control? Be out of control in a more controlled fashion.
If that makes any sense to any of the viewers.
Who could?
Yeah, you're right, Corey. This is controlled chaos right now. These drivers just trying to keep control of their race vehicles as Bressie gets loose off turn number 2 once again, but still gaining ground on the 13 machine.
So
something someone brought up in chat is who will pit first. The window should be open.
Yeah, we're at 43 laps to go right now. We're about 25 or so laps since the last set of stops. So
I think the smartest thing for Bressie to do would be to pit, you know, kind of as soon as he can. He doesn't want his tires to wear out too late, and that's something that all these drivers are thinking about.
But right now, we figure we're on lap 26, 27. Do these drivers really want to drive 13 more laps on this set? But they don't want to have to stretch that last run too long, but they do want to pit.
It could pay out having the fresher tires towards the end of this thing, but yeah, you could lose seconds at a time just by staying out a couple of laps.
Not even seconds. You might even just kill your car trying to stay out. Can you, if as hard as it is to hang on to it now, just imagine having 10 more laps of wear on these tires.
Bressie has the lead down to only 0.2 of a second.
Big wiggle from the 13.
Michael Finlayson really loose off turn number 2 once again. That's been the trouble spot all night for these drivers so far. Now Thomas Bressie really closing the gap.
But what's he going to be able to do? He's not going to really be able to make a dive bomb. I don't think he has enough control of the car left with the tire wear. What's he going to be able to do? He's going to have to wait for a mistake, which at the current rate shouldn't take too long.
See what happens off of turn number 2 this time. It's been the trouble spot all night. Now Thomas Bressie gets a little bit of loose. Finlayson diving it down to try to save his vehicle. Looks like the gap closes even further. Big dive into turn number 3 is a 24 machine.
Bressie drove it in really deep, but was not very able to get off that corner very well. He lost a little bit of ground to Finlayson.
Through the start, over the start-finish line as we take number 111 on the boards here at Kansas. Bressie right to the back bumper yet again at the center of the turn. Let's see if he could hold it on corner exit. Who's going to have the bigger wiggle? Actually, both drivers actually got a pretty smooth run off of 2 that time.
These drivers all over the racetrack trying to stay on the gas, just seeing if they can get the bigger run down into the corners.
Both pitting!
Like both of them are going to be pitting this time by Thomas Bressie locks them up, Finlayson locks them up going into pit road.
Oh, did both of them make that? Bressie really had to hit
I believe both of them made it, but it was really close. Good pit road entries for both of those drivers. I think Bressie decided that he'd pit at last second when he's off the 13 slowing down.
Bressie really had the big power slide and locked the brakes up pretty hardcore there. So right now, Shane Tarrant, remember, he pitted later than everybody on the last run. He'll do the same this time by. He will inherit the lead. Josh Adams in second, 3 seconds behind him. So let's see when Tarrant decides to pit or if he's going to do what he did last time and be the last one.
Gonna be close off pit road here. Thomas Bressi gonna try to hold as much ground as he can.
Looks like Finlayson and Bressi did lose a little bit, or Bressi lost a little bit to Finlayson. Pit stops were pretty even, but Bressi just spent a little bit more time in pit lane.
Yeah, Bressi eased it into his pit stall a lot more than Finlayson did, trying to play on the careful side with the 24 machine, and it could pay off for him. But we know that Bressi is going to be able to catch up to him.
Yeah, only about a 4/10 difference, so nothing overly catastrophic, something he could probably gain back just with his natural pace, but he's still going to have to find a way by, and they're going to have to navigate some traffic here, drivers who have yet to pit.
And they're almost 3 wide up there in front of them. Kyle Zimmer just yielding the position.
Begunia in the 7, just a little bit ahead of these drivers right now. Not too far ahead, but just enough that it is worth noting. Maybe about a second. Here they come off turn number 4. A lot of shaking and baking going on between the 13 and the 24. Thought the 24 was going to have a run. Like the door was closed on him.
One thing we didn't... Go ahead, Brandon.
I was going to say, coming down.
Bressi in the wall.
Bressi in the outside wall that time off turn number 2. He loses a bunch of ground now going into turn number 3.
One thing we didn't talk about is Begunia pitted before both of those drivers. He's in front of them right now.
Yeah, by about,
yeah, it was,
what is it, about a second?
Same as the first. Begunia was the first one on the pit. Now he ends up in front of these guys. But it looks like they're gaining on him pretty quickly.
Yeah, Shane Tarrant is on pit road.
38, as you said, on pit lane right now. We'll see how that shakes out for him with all the extra time on his tires, but he will have about 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else. We'll see how that shakes out. Joshua Adams is relinquishing the lead at the, well, he is taking the lead at the moment. He has yet to pit, but he does not have, he has one car behind him, Joel Holloway, yet to pit as well. And then we go back to Begunia, who will be the leader once the pit stops fully cycle through.
Bressi is right on the back bumper for
24 and the 13, bumping him down into turn number 3.
I think
Bressi just letting Finlayson know he's there.
Well, here they go, contact!
Oh, contact! Almost there!
Oh, they both wrecked.
Both of them made contact, wrecking down the front straightaways, the 13 machine!
No caution!
No caution! Oh my, oh my! No, 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 that's a big no-no. The 13 machine, Finlayson not going to be happy with the 24 of Bressi.
Yeah.
Bressi, I think he got away just fine, though.
Bressi, there was heavy contact between those two vehicles while the 13 was spinning. Obviously, Finlayson has a lot more damage than Bressi does. Oh, no, oh, no.
I have a horrible pun, but I'm going to hold off. Joshua Adams is the leader still, and because of that event, Cole Begunia is now going to enjoy about a 2-second lead over Bressi. Finlayson is now, what is about 7 seconds behind Bressi at the moment. So without the caution, no caution coming out, now that battle we had is now completely ceased.
Well, Bressi got away with it, but I'm sure not without consequence.
Holloway pitting.
The 13 may very well be on the lookout for that 24.
So now,
I really don't think Bressi's car is too bad. He's got a little bit of right rear where it's pushed in, but it shouldn't affect him too much.
The rear spoiler is bent up a little bit, but I think he'll be okay.
now, was that just a matter, do you guys think, of Bressi just finally running out of patience, or do you think?
Yes.
Yes, I think that's exactly what happened. I think he tried to move him down to the racetrack. Finlayson had blocked him enough times. Bressi was fed up with it, didn't want to put up with it. I don't think he meant to turn him, but he definitely meant to move him.
Meant to rattle his cage, but
Finlayson for 60, 70 laps. I really don't blame him for getting tired, but
didn't mean to wreck him, just meant to rattle his cage a little bit.
Yeah, and now Bressi really loose down through the corner, drifting it down through the corner there.
So now the battle we're going to have to focus on is what is the lap time differential between the 7 and the 24. Last time around the circuit, it is about almost 2/10 in the back pocket of Cole Bagunia now, so a little over 2-second gap.
I do think that little bit of damage to the rear end of Bressy's car is hurting him, guys.
And Adams is on pit road, so they'll hand the lead over to Bagunia.
I think Bagunia just has a joyride to get into this race now, and he can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the view out his front windshield.
So now that we have a little time to breathe, we currently have what is now 8 drivers on the lead lap. We have Bagunia, Bressy, Adams, Fenlison, Tarrant, Hartz, Hensley, and Matthews. That is the top 8 on the lead lap. Joel Holloway, Kyle Zimmer, Rusty Capel, and well, those are the last 3 drivers on track right now. Everybody else is currently in the garage area, so that is the race recap at the moment. We have had only 2 cautions for 4 laps. I don't think that's right, actually. We've only had 1 caution. But regardless of that, it's been a lot of green flag racing.
We've had 2 cautions.
Oh, we have? Oh, there you go. It is right. Trust the graphics. We have a lot of green flag racing here tonight at the Kansas Speedway for the Fast Track Sims Cup Series. After that interesting exchange of events, Cole Bagunia now has a 2-second lead. And I do believe last time by, Bressy actually was faster.
About a 10th-and-a-half quicker last time by was Bressy. We'll see what he does this lap.
So it might not be over. I don't know if that was a fluke lap for Bagunia or if Bressy maybe kind of got his rhythm back just a hair faster.
Yeah, about a half-tenth quicker as Bressy.
That's not going to get shrink that lead, but still he is faster at the very least. Will we finish green? These are questions we ask as 25 laps to go are on the books. Remember, we've had a lot of races like this where we couldn't envision a caution from a mile away, but still one managed to find its way. So don't rule that out as a possibility, but at the moment, I can't see it happening. Closest battle on track right now is for 7th between Tyler Hensley and Christopher Matthews, 5 in the 92. About 3 or 4 tenths, well, about 3 car lengths separating these drivers through 3 and 4. Thought the 92 had a little bit more of a run, but he seems to be losing any time that he had gained.
Wow, Bressy, I'm watching Bressy right now when he's still getting really loosey-goosey, slippy, slidey around this racetrack right now. I think that damage might be playing an effect of that, but these drivers have been like that all night, and I don't see an exception just for the last part of this race.
And then just to compare Fenlison's lap times, Fenlison actually a hair faster, so I don't think either driver has really been overly affected by the damage, just other than the fact of losing all that time.
Bressy was about a 10th quicker the last lap.
So yeah, Thomas Bressy gaining time right now.
Oh, Bressy loose. He about wrecked it out of 4.
Wow.
He was really sideways.
And then Shane Tarrant, guys, something we need to focus on. We completely negated it as an option. Remember, Tarrant with the newest tires on the board right now, he's powering through the field right now. He just took 3rd position away from Fenlison. And let's just see here. I think he is, actually it's kind of hard to tell. He's still having connection issues, so it's throwing off my stats, but he is the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's gained almost 5/10 of a second this lap. He was about a half-second quicker than Bagunia. But will he be able to shrink down that 8.5 second lead in time as he just got into the wall just a little bit?
Yeah, that's the question, but right now we'll be back for the end of this race as things have winded down just a little bit. We'll keep track of times on you as we go side by side for commercial break.
Red Bull GRC is now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Welcome back, race fans, for the end of this race. Here from the Kansas Speedway, the Hardline Racing League Fast Track Sims Cup Series. Here tonight we've seen exciting battles, and now we're keeping a track on the times. Who will get who for position? We know Shane Tarrant's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He's got the freshest tires.
Tarrant's the fastest, but it looks like he's trying to drift each corner.
Yeah, last time around the track right now, let's see here. Let me pull up the right graphic. That would help. Tarrant ran a 32.7. Cole Bagunia ran a 31.17, so that's about
33.17.
Yeah, that too. It was about 6/10 faster, about maybe actually about 5/10 faster if I could do mathematics. So Tarrant is making a pretty good chunk off the lead, but I just don't know if he's going to have enough time.
Also, Bresci closed in about 2/10 this last lap.
So
looks like the 66 trying to gain a position to see if he can unlap himself. He's right to the back bumper of Bresci. Bresci still all over the racetrack right now, trying to hold his position, trying to still gain ground on the 13 machine. Or not the 13 machine, sorry, the 7 machine.
Here comes Joel Holloway, the 66. He is one lap down. He is just on fresher tires, just trying to get him just cleared. This is not for a position. So he, that pass, oh, you just see Bresci just throughout the entire turn is just completely out of control, but obviously managing to do the best he can. I wouldn't take it to the apron if I could, if I was him. That is not going to help him stay in control. It is with the transitions that are down there.
He's just trying to get all the time he can.
66 gets on the wall right in front of Bresci. That could have been big.
I think this may be another good time to go on board with the 24, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Bresci definitely, with equal tires, is by far the fastest race car on the track, but he's also a lot looser than everyone else. He's trying to push a lot harder, and it's a very, very sketchy ride for the 24 machine right now.
And as I was saying earlier, with the dynamic track, the grip level on the top lane is even less than it is in the beginning, so that's not helping causes, but it's still faster up there than to search down lower on the track. So you're kind of like on a dirt track. You're running in the slick. You're well knowing that the groove you are running in doesn't have the grip, but you're still kind of forced to run it.
Yeah, Bresci's running a bit higher than what he has before. He's getting his right sides up in the kind of fresh track up there.
But you can see him, he dives it down into the corner there, drifts back up, kind of out of the rubbered area a little bit, but yeah, it's a sketchy ride.
The amount of mistake room that you have when you're running that lane is absolutely nothing, so it's really kind of takes a guts of steel to do that lane, and Bresci doing the best he can with it, but Cole Bagunia not having to really push the issue that much because he is still ahead by about 2.25 seconds.
Cole Bagunia on a Friday night drive right now here around Kansas, just trying to hit his marks every lap, trying to drag this thing into victory lane.
I would not be surprised if there is a battle for the second position on hand before the end of this race, because as I pull up the battle tracker, Shane Tarrant is actually, looks like Shane Tarrant is stabilized with his lap times. He was taking...
Maybe he pushed it too hard.
Yeah, he was gaining quite a bit every lap, at least a second, but that last time by, he only gained about 2 or 3 tenths, so that's not going to take that 3.5 second deficit out. So kind of kill that point I was bringing up. So at this point, we have to ask ourselves, is anything going to happen to take the win away from the 7? Will he take it away from himself with any kind of wall contact, or will the yellow flag just kind of show its face in the last 12 laps? Got to stay tuned and find out with us here on PTR TV.
Yeah, and, well, Thomas Bressi doing his best. Where'd Fenelson end up, guys?
Fenelson's only in 4th now. He lost the position to Shane Tarrant. Tarrant, remember, has those fresher tires because he pitted much later. He's managed to gain some of the time back. So Tarrant is about 6 seconds ahead of Fenelson right now.
So yeah, Fenelson in that 4th position. That was unfortunate break for him as he gets really loose down the back straightaway.
Go on board with Begunia here. We've been seeing how much Bressi is.
Oh, Tarrant really sideways. He's going around in the front stretch.
With caution? This is going to throw out a caution.
It's going to be a caution.
Or will it?
Shane
yes,
Tarrant,
caution!
yes. Round caution on the speedway. This changes everything.
11 laps to go.
Wow.
10
Did I not say that for some reason every time at the end of these races we get a yellow when it doesn't look like it's going to happen? He just got loose off of 4.
And Shane Tarrant with a little bit of damage to that race car,
yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, I don't think the damage is going to be too deterring for him, but he won't lose too much track position either. He'll only be in the 6th position, but that's going to bunch the field up.
Caution again.
That's going to bunch the field up, give everybody 4 fresh tires and a shootout probably of about 4 to 5 laps to go for it.
Shane Tarrant got really loose off turn number 4. Just a slight contact with the outside wall, not enough to damage the race car at all.
So what we thought was, as Brandon called it, a Friday night drive into the daylight, sunset, whatever you have it, for Begunia is going to turn into quite the battle, and he's going to have a very hungry Thomas Bressi looking to sweep the Hardline weekend, winning both series races at Kansas this week. But we have
Fenelson's going to be right behind them.
And you know Fenelson is not going to be too happy with the 24 machine. So we'll see if any further shenanigans come about. I think he already is trying to on pit lane.
Yeah, he's giving Bressi some bumps.
Yeah, that's I wonder if he's going to try to make him miss his stall even. Nope, no, it won't go that to that extent, but
he would have been in trouble with the league officials
had
he done that, I'm sure, so he thought better of that one. But yeah, the 13 definitely not happy with Bressi.
We've seen, and to nothing discrediting the league or the ad, but we've seen retaliation occur in past races. A couple of those drivers no longer with the league, so I don't.
And that's something that you can't get away from, unfortunately, is the retaliation aspect of it when drivers get heated. But
so the pit lane exit race is the same way they entered. Begunia, Bressi, Fenelson, and then in 4th, Joshua Adams. We know Joshua Adams can hang with these guys for a couple laps, and that's all we're going to have is a couple laps. So
also Ryan Hartz, he started in the 2nd position, so we know he can be pretty good in the short run. He's been back in, looks like 5th.
Tyler Hensley, from what we are seeing, is still on the track. Is he? Tyler Hensley has not led a lap yet, so let's see if that's what he's going for. Nope.
Looks like he's coming down pit road
now. And he won't even get the lap led, actually, the way it works out, I believe. So, this is the point in the race where typically we decide in the booth who are our picks. I had to say that slowly or I was going to butcher it. So I am going to go first because I feel like it, and I'm going to go with... Actually, why don't you go first? I don't know.
Brandon, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I can't decide. So
I am going with the 24 of Thomas Bressi.
I am going to go with the Carnage pick and go with the 88 because I think something's going to happen.
I'm going to go with another kind of Carnage pick, the 3 of Hearts.
So none
of us picked the leader.
Well, we know anything can happen in the Hardline Racing League, and I think just about everything has happened in the Hardline Racing League. Maybe not necessarily carnage, but you know, there's been a lot of bumps, a lot of drivers get up into the wall from contact with another driver. There's a lot of controlled chaos that can really play effect at the end of this race. And these guys, they know what they're fighting for. At this point, they're fighting for a spot in the playoffs. You know, a lot of these guys are hungry for a win.
So
Finlayson especially.
Bagunia's going to take the outside most likely. That's going to put Finlayson right behind Bresci on this restart.
That'll be...
so they have to decide, well, Finlayson has to decide, am I going to take a stab at the win or get in the best position I can, or am I just going to make it known that I'm not happy? That's kind of a decision he has to make. And then Josh Adams in the 88, how good of a start could he get? Could he avoid any kind of incident between the 24 and the 13? And could he somehow pull out a stab at the win here in a last-ditch shootout here with 5 to go rather?
Yeah, there's going to be 5 laps to go at the restart. Now, the 92 of Christopher Matthews, he's in 6th. That's a really good job for him. He's been kind of back in 8th to 9th this whole race. That'd be a good underdog pick right there.
I hate to hype this up, but do you think anything might happen suspiciously between the 13 and the 24?
I wouldn't be surprised.
What we've just been talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I don't know. I don't know if Finlayson is like that or not.
But we'll find out here together in 5 laps around the Kansas Speedway to end this race for the Hardline Cup Series, Fast Track Sims Cup Series. Cole Bagunia is the points leader, and he is the leader of the race right now. Pace car pulling to pit road for the final time tonight. Green flag in the air, and the 7's on the loud pedal. We're back underway.
The 92 spins the tires, the 20 into the wall behind him. We stay green. Pounding the back bumper of the 24 is the 13 car going into the corner.
Bresci is able to hold off. Finlayson in the 13 is not able to keep the run.
Tries to drive into the 13.
The 88 in the wall.
Into the wall. The 88 into the wall. Down the back straightaway. We keep it clean and green.
I don't know about clean, but we keep it green.
But right now, the 7 of Bagunia, none of us give him enough credit for the win to win this race, but he's out to about a half-second lead here with 4 laps to go. I don't know if Bresci's going to be able to do it, but he's not going to give up.
Ryan Hart's trying to get around the 13 back further in the pack.
Hart's right to the back bumper of the 13 machine as they come off turn 2.
Thomas Bresci makes contact with the outside wall.
And
this will allow Finlayson and Hart's to catch up to him.
And this will also allow Cole Bagunia to get even further breathing room here. Just has to cruise, and this race will be his, but the battle's going to be for the 2nd position. Bresci to the apron here. The 13 obviously in the 3rd position behind him. You know the 13's still not happy, but will he let it slide, or will he make his presence known here as the race comes to an end and the 2nd position is on the line? Hart's in the wall.
A bunch of cars, looks like 4 cars now under a blanket trying to fight for the 2nd position.
Through 3 and 4. Bresci seems to get, oh, that's his loose spot there. He hit the seam. Here comes the 13 with a little bit of a run. And here comes Hartz with a look to the outside. 2 laps to go. Not missing anything up front. Bagunia's up by 1.2 seconds. But here we go for the 2nd through 4th position here, all under a blanket here.
1 car on the wall behind him. I think that's Joe Holloway. Keeps it straight.
We keep it green.
But off of turn number 3 and 4 right now, Cole Bagunia, the points leader, is going to come off turn 4 and take the white flag lap one more time around Kansas Speedway for the win for Cole Bagunia. 1.5 miles left.
Cole Bagunia in the 7 machine. He's showing speed all the night tonight, all the time tonight, pretty much all night here, and maybe with a little bit of a lucky break. Thomas Bresci was at one point the fastest car on the racetrack. Now it's Cole Bagunia as these guys are fighting behind him.
13.
Making his way down through 3 and 4.
13 takes a stab at it on the bottom. It's not going to do anything, but coming off turn 4, the points leader, Cole Bagunia in the 7, endured the last restart. He gets the restart he needs, and he will win the race. Fast Track Sims Cup Series Kansas goes to Cole Bagunia.
As I want to watch quick and see if anything happens post-race between the 13 and the 24. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, and they're going to congratulate Bagunia on his victory, so to unquote Brandon, there's not a fight. But we offer
we send our congratulations to the 7 machine of Cole Bagunia on his victory. We'll be back with the post-race show right after these messages. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to PTR TV here with the post-race show. We're going to give some driver interviews here tonight, and I believe we've got most of our guys still waiting on our winner to come in here tonight. But as he just came in, so we've got all of our guys, and I believe Evan Black is down there with third place finisher Michael Fenlison.
So, Michael Fenlison, you come home in a third place. How was the race for you?
It was nice to get a few runs in early in the race. I got a good finish and surprisingly got third. It came to the shortcoming or whatever of Shane, though. It sucks that he spun out. He's my old teammate and still work together with him, so it sucks to see him bring out that caution. But, you know, I was really excited to see what that last restart would bring, because I got flat out dumped by the 24 car for second place for absolutely no reason. So I was really excited to try to get back up to him and see what I could do, but I was the growing man in that equation. I got to his bumper on that last run and didn't really do anything. I could have easily just destroyed him like I really felt like doing, but I mean, he flat out dumped me earlier in the race. I probably had a shot to win this race. I led about 70 laps, I think, early in the run. It was probably going to be a battle between me, him, and Cole, but he just flat out dumped me and took me out of the equation, and probably took himself out of the equation if he even was in the equation at all. But good win for Cole. At least he raced me clean and got the win for him. I mean, I'm racing part-time, so it's not that big of a deal for me, but it sucks when you get flat out dumped when you're racing people clean. But oh well, glad to bring home P3. I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, so how were the cars handling out there? We saw a lot of slipping and sliding around.
Oh yeah, it was. This build so far, it's been really nice. It's been really, really fun to drive. I mean, I'm having tons of fun with it, not just because I'm like, it's sort of my driving style, and I'm thinking it's showing sort of, but I like the way these cars like feel. Like you can't just hammer the throttle down off the corners anymore. You actually have to pedal it and like adjust your entry and then middle of the corner, which will make a better exit. And I think for some people it's really hard to do that, so I think it really fits right in my wheelhouse. And you know, I was barely on the throttle fully until probably about quarter way down the straightaway each time, so even in the trial it was getting loose, which is really fun, and you're just slipping and sliding the whole time. And it was a lot of fun to drive before I got my whole right side taken off.
All right, is there anyone you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Josh. I really like to apologize to Josh too, because I got so tight on that restart and pretty much just put him in the wall, but I couldn't really do anything. I mean, I tried entering lower because I knew it was going to get tight, but then I realized he was right in my right rear, and I was going to push up no matter what. If I let off, I was going to go right into him. If I just kept it at my normal pace, I was going to slide up into him later in the corner, but that sucks for him. He fell back to 6th, but I apologize for that. And thanks to Shane for always helping me out. He's been a teammate for a long time, and thanks to Cody for putting this league on. It's been a lot of fun when you get to race guys. And thanks to Rento Mobile One, who come on board with me every week, Upper Edge and this league, and a few other leagues also, and New England Racing Fuel, Sunoco. And I think that's about it.
All right, well, congrats on your third place finish, and thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That was your third place finisher, Michael Fenlison, and Corey Silva has your second place finisher now, Tom Espressi.
All right, TB, we talked to you in Victory Lane on Wednesday night, but one spot shy of that tonight. Very eventful, and looks like a very loose race here at the Kansas Speedway tonight. Talk about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and pretty much impossible to pass like it was Wednesday. So, and yeah, really loose. So it's pretty crazy. And a lot went on, but even though passing was basically impossible, but yeah, the cars were a handful on new tires, they were a handful on old tires, and yeah, that's kind of how it was all night.
Yeah, we saw obviously a lot of drivers just trying to do a lot of kind of dirt track style slide jobs to the bottom, doing everything they could, but passing obviously was tired. And I know you're probably expecting to talk about what happened there with the 13 there in turns 3 and 4. Was it a matter of just kind of running out of patience, or just kind of maybe making a mistake with your line that to lap?
I mean, I guess you could say it was kind of running out of patience. I got stuck behind him for what felt like 45 minutes, and you know, we were 1-2 and he was holding me up and Cole was running us down, or we were 2nd and 3rd or whatever and Cole was just driving away. So you know, I was trying to size him up somewhere, maybe get him a little loose to get by him, like, you know, get a nose to the outside or whatever. to just pass him on the top, and then we were coming off 2 the one time, and I, you know, had a nose up there, and he started coming up, and I got the wall there, and so that kind of got me pretty angry. Just kind of was out of patience at that point, so I'd gotten real close up to Cole earlier in the race and just got him loose. I didn't hit him, but I just took all the air off his back end and was able to pass him. So I tried doing that to Michael, and I guess it got him sideways enough that eventually I just started pushing him, and he went around. So you know, he hasn't, you know, that hasn't, I mean, he's upset about it, but I'm not really worried about it too much, for, you know, coming from someone who has so few starts in the series this year that I can count them on like half a hand, and, you know, it hasn't stopped him from doing that kind of stuff to me before. So just go back and watch the last couple of years. But, you know, I'm a butthurt, immature kid, so, but that's, you know, that's his problem, I guess. I guess it takes one to know one.
Yeah, I guess kind of like I said the other night to you, I think it's kind of like Kansas almost kind of drives like a short track in a way, where tempers kind of flare, tight racing, difficult quarters, but you pulled off a second tonight in the Cup Series, so who do you want to give your shout-outs to?
Yeah, just as usual, my teammates Tyler Hensley, Casey Shue, Joel Holloway. Shout out to you guys, of course, for doing the broadcast. As always, everyone who tuned in, hope you were able to stay awake for the race, because it was, from what I thought, was rather uneventful. But of course, everything Cody Tabor does to put the league on, and congrats to Cole on the win. He had a really good car, and I just didn't have anything for him those last 2 runs there, so good job to him.
All right, thanks again, TB, for talking to us, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, see you later, guys.
And Brandon Krutz will talk to your winner, Cole Bagunia.
Cole Bagunia has climbed out of the race car. Now the number 7 machine down here at Victory Lane. Cole Bagunia, the winner here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Cole, it was a tough race all night long. We saw everyone struggle when handling their race cars. How did your race go overall, do you think?
Overall, I'm pretty good. I ended up down here in Victory Lane. Started the race off real fast, threw myself a curveball on pit road by sliding through my box, so I had to start towards the back, work my way up to the front, and played some good pit strategy to get the lead and ultimately win the race.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, we saw you had a fast race car all night, and it was just a matter of trying to keep the wheels under it, and you know, when you notice that the 13 and the 24 kind of had an incident there, what was going through your mind?
Well, I know the 24, 13, and me were definitely the cars to beat all night. At different points of the race, you could just pick which one was quicker, because we're all pretty much under a blanket, but I knew short pitting before them was my only chance really to get the lead, because you can't pass here, and got out in front by about a second. Then they had their problem, so after they had their problem, they were pretty far back, so it just let me kind of go in cruise control there and take care of my stuff and not push too hard.
Was there any concern when we had that final caution for the night there with about 10 laps to go there? Did you think you'd be able to hold these guys off?
I felt like if everyone took 4 tires, I was going to be able to hold them off. I was obviously concerned. I was waiting for the caution the entire last 40 laps there, just waiting for it to come out, and finally did. And I thought about taking 2 because I thought some more people would gamble, but thankfully I changed back to 4, and everyone else took 4, and if I got a good restart, which I did, I was going to win the race, so.
Well, yeah, you come home with the victory here tonight, and is there anyone that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to here tonight?
Gotta give a shout out to the squad. We got Dylan, Gunther, Breyer, and Travis, Fortnite squad, so they're probably happy that I won. They're watching the broadcast, so just happy to be back in Victory Lane.
Absolutely, congratulations on your victory here tonight. Your winner at Kansas Speedway here tonight to the number 7, Cole Bagunia.
So that's the post-race interviews for you. Let's wrap up tonight's broadcast with the final finishing results here from the Kansas Speedway. With the victory, as we just spoke to, was Cole Bagunia in the number 7 machine. Thomas Bresci won Wednesday night, second place tonight in the Cup Series, then we have Michael Fenlison, Ryan Hartz, and Tyler Hensley, the top 5. Joshua Adams, Shane Tarrant, Joel Holloway, Christopher Matthews, and Kyle Zimmer, the top 10.
And Rusty Cable finishing in 11th, Cody Tabor in 12th, Justin Munsell in 13th, and then Chuck Sweeting and Casey Shue rounding out the field.
With the results and the race being in the books here from Kansas, a quick shout out to our channel sponsors, Air Movement Fabrications, Donahans choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook, Air Movement Fabrications. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, Eurocards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. And iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's 2 main overlay systems, ATVO and IRTVO. If you're a broadcast company looking for custom overlays to make your channel shine, talk to Jason Allison at iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, check out our Patreon. To keep broadcast quality high and costs low for league owners, we need a little help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV. If you become a Patreon, you'll get rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. But become a Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV.
So that's another broadcast here on PTR TV. We brought you the Hardline Cup Series on Friday night. We brought you the Blown Piston Racing League Thursday. We brought you the Hardline Racing Series on Wednesday night as well. A full week of content this week and more racing for you next week. If you haven't liked and subscribed, we'd much appreciate if you did so. Always stay notified when we go live. Do not miss a minute of the action here on PTR TV. Signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night.
Catch you next time.